Yo, what's up, guys? This is Magamu, and yesterday was the big day, Tennocon, all the big reveals for Warframe, and I wanted to go through a lot of them for, the people who didn't watch it, and for the people who maybe saw it, we can still recap it. I've got tons of thoughts on what I saw, and, a nice little summary at the end as far as, like, what I thought about it. Overall, I thought it was all pretty cool, even though we're going to go through everything detail by detail. And I will say, my God, like, Tennocon is ridiculously big now. Like, the years I went, I thought it was pretty big. As far as like the main room where the event happened, it got bigger and bigger every year. The very first room, it probably, I think there were like lawn chairs, if I'm not crazy, or like the regular little metal chairs. That was like a whole doggone stadium yesterday. That was insane. So lots of people. That looked like a freaking rock concert. So Tennocon definitely got bigger from year one or year two, let me tell you. All right, but let's go through some of the stuff that I saw yesterday for Tennocon, because there's some interesting stuff. And again, I have a summary at the end, right? So let's just go through it. First of all, this is mainly based around the new quest. And the new quest is going to be based on, get this, Tau. Now, we have been promised this for years. This whole concept of Star Map 2.0 or the next Star Map. We always knew the next Star Map was going to be Tau. It's just, man, I would say we've been waiting for the second Tau star map for, I wouldn't say it's a decade, but we're kind of pushing up on that from when it was first talked about. I remember I asked Megan about this years ago. She probably doesn't remember. I was like, what are we going to do this year? Is it Tau? And, it wasn't, but it's finally here after so many years. So there's more. No, we've gotten Tau sets over the while, but there's more map now. Like, you have to actually go into the relay, or into the dojo, I don't quite remember, and hit the wormhole and actually go there, use your railjack or whatever. So that's the big update. You've got the Tau quest, and you've got the new second star map, which happens in Tau. I don't think they're going to be like full planets. Like, I saw a few planets in the video itself, but apparently there are only going to be 2 planets there, at least at launch. Now, is it like open world, like Fortuna or something like that? Or is it a bit of the open world mixed with the Tau set? I can't really tell. You guys can look at the video I've got up and kind of make that determination, but I'm okay with either one, right? The open world stuff is fine, but I do like the Tau set stuff, if I'm being honest. Like, I'm very partial to the Tau set stuff because it's always different and it's unique. So it could be a mix of both. I don't really know, but let's go through the quest, because there's a lot of stuff that gets revealed when you're just watching the quest unveil for this. So first thing you notice right away, apparently the Lotus is playable here. Like, she kind of has that wispy like movement. I don't know if these are wisp exact animations, I can't really tell, but she's got like a wispy movement. She's got some insane AoE nuke abilities. Like, can we just play the Lotus at this point, right? If she's that strong at this point, I'll just play the Lotus. I don't really need the Warframes at this point. But it seems like you can play her maybe at the very beginning of the quest. Some other things in there, the giants from some of the quests. Now, I still don't quite understand what the giants are, but they are going to be playable, and it looks like they're going to be in your dojos. Now, what worries me about the giants, I don't trust Warframe players with the cosmetics. Like, man, this dude is going to be pink in 0.2 seconds, completely pink and just draped in ridiculousness. So I do not trust you guys with the fashion frame on those giants. It's just going to be abysmal. I don't think they really talk about the gameplay of the giants. I think there's so much already, right, that changes up the gameplay of Warframe. Like, you've got the Archwing, you've got the mechs, you've got the railjack. So already right there are 3 completely different ways to play Warframe outside of the Warframe itself. 4 if you count the Tenno gameplay itself. So now you're talking about maybe if you can like control that thing, that's going to be a 5th way to play the game, like to actually navigate the game, right? So that's quite a bit. So I'm curious what they're going to do different with controlling the giants. Like, is this going to be like some Voltron level type stuff, right, where you're just fighting these really big enemies? Who knows? But I'm curious what they do. I just don't trust you guys with the fashion frame stuff. That's just going to go bad. Next up, they show Entrati. Apparently he's retired Geppetto at this point. Like, he's just like tinkering over in Tau, and he introduces the new Warframe, which is Brisko, quite the name. And now that we've seen Brisko, which weirdly enough, this is another operatorless Warframe, kind of like Umbra. Apparently, it's not a proto frame. I am so far behind on the lore, so it's not a proto frame. It's not an Umbra. Apparently, it's a Chimera frame. Now, you guys can tell me if you know what the heck that is. I do not. But if it's something new, okay, that's cool. But apparently, Brisko is whatever that is, a Chimera frame. And because we got to see Brisko, we finally know what the cards are for. Now, I speculated that either A, the cards were going to represent a new Warframe. I didn't think that was going to be true. Or B, it was going to represent a card game in Warframe. Well, surprise, both of those things are true. The Warframe itself, Brisko, seems to use the cards. At least I thought I saw those cards in the ability. I could have misread that. And gambling in Warframe, that's a thing now. You know, there's like a casino in the game. Now, apparently Rivens aren't the only way to gamble anymore. Now there's an actual casino. Yeah, that happened. So an actual card game in Warframe, I did not think this would happen. I honestly thought they were going to do something different. I thought it was going to be a stretch, but I mean, they add so many like mini games now. I think even they're adding like some type of board game or something they talked about earlier in Tennocon. I don't remember the name of it. It's like an offshoot of Dungeons and Dragons. I didn't watch too much of that part, but it makes sense. You know, the board game, the card game, there's like little things you can tinker and play within the game outside of the main gameplay. So, hey, I was wrong. It actually happened. That is a thing. Cards, casinos, and it's happening. Now, as far as the quest, right? The quest seems to, again, it focuses on Tau. And because it focuses on Tau, it's going to focus on lots and lots of sentience. And it's weird because I remember back in the day, the idea of sentience was just like this nebulous concept. But here we are, sentinels everywhere. And it's basically Skid Row. Like all the sentients are crackheads for some reason. Again, this points to some lore things for the last quest that I need to go back and play. But the sentients are just goofy crackheads. Like they kind of remind me of the grunts from the Covenant, like crazy squeaky voice lines, almost like Borderlands or something. They are very humanized. I thought they were going to be big scary monsters, but apparently they're they're just like druggies in this whole noir type of thing that's going on, which I find personally funny, especially since the main Warframe is like this detective Warframe, so it kind of goes from black and white to color, and you know, he's mogging the whole time and aura farming. It's crazy. Now, speaking of aura farming, this guy, man, this new Warframe, Brisko, he aura farms like crazy at the end of this fight, right? Which brings me to what I want to talk about. One of the main things that stood out to me was he had this fight with Zoff, and I'm going to mess this up, Jeldrin, where he was fighting these two sentients. And that part really caught me, right? As far as, well, another part we're going to talk about in a second. Because I really like, and I talked about this yesterday, I really like the idea of like the enemies who really like engage with what you're doing, kind of like the band from Warframe 1999, where, you know, you got to dodge things, you got to get out of the way, you got to attack at a certain time. I kind of like that direction of Warframe bosses. It wasn't really there, you know, in earlier Prime Warframe years. I'm seeing them do that a lot more, and that's pretty cool, right? You know, you're fighting a boss that's actually like doing stuff that you got to look out for. So I thought that fight was pretty good, and to me, that was like the highlight of the show. Because I wouldn't say the highlight of the show, but the highlight of, you know, that part of the video where, you know, you see the player actually fighting the sentients, and they're dashing around and you're actually engaging with it. Those are the type of games I like. You guys may not feel the same way, but when I see that, I'm like, heck yeah, like I want to fight Zoff and Jeldrin or whoever they are. Like, that looks pretty cool. The other thing that looks pretty cool that I am just hoping will not let me down is there's a flying car, right? That is amazing. It seems like you could just hop in this flying car. It's not an Archwing, you know, it's something that you can use to fly around this, probably, what is a sentient open world? It's really hard to tell. I'm hoping it doesn't look like it's on rails, But I am hoping it's just a way to get around. And I think that's pretty cool. I don't think they'll let me down with that. Those are my two things. I like the Sentient Zoth Geldrin fight, and I like the flying cars. Those were the two that I was like, oh man, that's pretty cool. Like, I will actually stick around for that. And the final thing is you finally, of course, see the big boss, which has some links to the old Peace quest. I'm not going to spoil it or pretend like I know much about that. I know who that character is, but before I talk about that, I do want to go back and play it. So again, I got to play that quest. I've been meaning to do it this week. So that's pretty much it. You see the boss, you see the flying cars, you see the Sentient fight where Brisko's ore farming like crazy. Skid Row crackhead drunky sentinels for some reason. Lotus is playable. I thought that was pretty cool. Can we do more with that if they haven't already? And the new, of course, the new Warframe Brisko and the cards and all that. Overall, it seemed pretty focused, if I'm being honest with you, right? So like, they're not all over the place. Like, they're really focusing on the star map, the new star map, and they are focusing on this quest that takes place there. So for now, that's the future of Warframe. I'm kind of curious what you guys think. Like, is this something that that's going to bring you guys back to play it? Are you excited about it? I think I would definitely play this. I enjoyed Warframe 1999. Thematically, I really love 99, but this seems to kind of fit there, right? Where it's like, I have this new place to go, and it's kind of like this whole new vibe. And I'd be curious to see how that works out. As a big fan of Warframe 1999, I love that update. That's my favorite one. Anyway, you guys let me know what you think about what you saw for Tennocon, and I'll talk to you guys later.